Appreciate it.
Check. Thank you.
Everybody make sure their mics are hot.
Hey, after this, I want to catch up with you. Because I was supposed to call you back, and I've neglected to twice now.
You getting audio?
That's me. It's been a crazy week and a half.
It being 5:30, I'll call this meeting of the Village of Peoria Heights Board of Trustees to order. If everyone would please stand for a moment of silent prayer and reflection, and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwedel?
Present.
Trustee Kazam?
Present.
Trustee Simmons?
Present.
Trustee DeVore?
Present.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Present.
Trustee Reichert?
Present.
Thank you all for being here. We have a quorum. We'll move along to approval of the minutes 2026. Do I hear a motion?
Motion made. Second.
Motion by Trustee Simmons, seconded by Trustee Kazam. Any corrections or additions, changes to the minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. We're now down to comments from the audience. If you do have a comment, please come to the podium. This is just for agenda items only. Give your name, address, and try to keep it to 5 minutes. Comments from the audience.
My name is Bob Travers at 1516 East Glen Avenue, and we're on the agenda for the alley to be vacated behind the garage. Currently, there's no alley. And the other direction going north-south was already vacated a number of years ago.
Thank you, Bob. Yeah, and well, if you would
I
just,
didn't know if I needed to get up or anything.
always better safe than sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, so just sit tight and we'll pull you up if we need to. Any other comments from the audience? Comments going once, twice. Comments are closed. We're now down to mayoral appointments and announcements. I would like to reappoint Mr. Greg Fletcher to the Police Pension Board. Mr. Fletcher's long time serving on the Police Pension Board and would like to remain on the board. He's done a lot of good work for the village, and we appreciate his hard work. And so I would look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Trustee Weisenberg, seconded by Trustee Simmons. Any questions or comments on the appointment? Hearing none, Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwedel?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. One quick announcement, and I had talked to a couple of trustees about this and Administrator Sutton, but tonight I'd like to have, looking for a consensus to move forward collaboratively with our fellow taxing bodies, the Peoria Heights School District 325, Peoria Heights Library, and Richwoods Township, to establish a coordinated 3-year real estate rebate pilot program designed to accomplish some important goals. 1, to encourage new residential development, and 2, to attract a grocery store to our community. First, on housing, like many communities, we're faced with limited housing inventory. Families who want to move here can afford or find available homes. So our comprehensive plan a couple of years ago found that our average housing stock was over 7 decades old. And people want to find appropriate development to meet the demand of those wanting to come to a small town and feel safe in our community. By working across our taxing bodies, we can offer a 3-year real estate tax rebate program on newly constructed housing. This is not a giveaway. This is not a permanent reduction, but a targeted temporary incentive that helps families relocate to Peoria Heights. On the second goal, it's something that I'm sure all of us hear about quite often, is a grocery store. And as we're faced with losing ours soon, absent starting our own village grocery store and employing our own people, the ability to attract a new grocer comes really from our taxing and economic policy. By coordinating with our school district, our library, and our township, we can send a powerful message to potential operators that Peoria Heights is unified, Peoria Heights is serious, and Peoria Heights is ready to partner. I believe that when our village, our school district, our library, and our township sit at the same table, we can design a program that's measured and fiscally sound and accountable. I plan to work with the president of the school board, supervisor of the township, president of the library board, to get more families here in Peoria Heights and more students in our classrooms. Peoria Heights has always succeeded when we work together. This initiative is about partnership and ensuring that 10, 20, 30 years from now, when people are sitting here in our chairs, they look back and know that we did what we could to secure our future. So tonight I would ask for a consensus that I move forward to speak with those bodies to try to get an intergovernmental agreement to incentivize both residential development and a grocer to come to our community.
Question. So is it, are we going to talk to the Park District? Because I think they're the second highest.
The Park District, since they are not Peoria Heights specific, it would be difficult to work with them on this. I don't know if they would,
Okay.
but I do think, and the Park District extends across, the county. The township is a little bit bigger than Peoria Heights, slightly. The school district is also a little bit bigger than Peoria Heights, slightly. But all 4 of those taxing bodies service Peoria Heights specifically.
Okay. All right.
And again, this is just to have a discussion.
No, I understand that. It's just, for the bang for the buck, the township is what, $20 a year or something like that?
Yeah.
Or something like that. But I think the Park District is my second largest after the school district.
Yeah.
But, okay. No, I agree. I think we should have the discussion.
It's a great idea, Mayor, and I'm in full favor of this. Me as well.
Thank you. Yeah, this, I can't take full credit. Village of Oswego up north had done a similar project. So I think looking at that, it would hopefully work for us as well.
Great.
So, but I also want to commend Trustee Weisenberg and Trustee DeVore, who have been working with the school district specifically to find ways that we can partner. And I think this will just be another arrow in your quiver as you discuss ways to move forward. So thank you both, too.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay, so I have that consensus to move forward. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
We are now down to old business. Is there any old business to come before the board?
Yes, I'd like to, at the last meeting, a lot of questions were asked about the fire trucks that we do have in service and the age and condition of them. Chief sent us, put quite a bit of time into getting a fairly detailed report back of what we know is wrong with them. Tonight, I'd like to kind of just readdress that and just get a little guidance from the board as far as where you guys would like to see this go after seeing the report from Chief Sentes. We've got, I know we've got some views of what's a priority, what isn't a priority, that kind of a thing. Talking to Administrator Sutton, there seems to be, some questions as far as what we're going to do with the budget moving forward, but just a little guidance as far as what we're looking at, what our thoughts are, what everybody's thinking. Does anybody have any thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, I really want to thank Chief Sentes for putting that together. It was very comprehensive, and we all appreciate getting that information. Thank you so much. Trustee, you're asking specifically about the budget, and
I'm asking about some guidance for which direction do you want to go after looking at that report, what your thoughts are.
I guess I'd look to my fellow trustees and the administrator on this.
Our last discussion, we discussed eliminating the debt service, which we know, which was $217,000. And the other question was, if we're going to put more money back towards new apparatus, how much would that be? I think that's the question. I do think short-term, we do need to spend some money to get these things operationally. I know that when something like on the fire site, fire engines go down, they're costly. We have to spend the money. So I think that's not even a question. So I've had discussion with Chief Sentes to move forward in that direction, but I also don't want to throw money into a pit that eventually, it's not going to be a running machine. So I think that, from my understanding, the report, that we are going to have to drop a good amount of money, which we understood, to get it running. And I know there's been some things recently have just popped up. But I guess my question is, working on the budget, how much are we going to put back in a capital vehicle plan towards a new engine? And just because we don't have, if something goes wrong in a year and a half, a year, 2 years, whatever, and we need a new engine, we will figure out a way to get one, whether through financing, a low interest rate or something, and whatever money we do have. And I do think when it comes to grants, I think, I'm not a grant specialist when it comes to that area, but I think that, if we have majority of that money in the bank, I'm not sure what our percentages are to getting the grant. I think it would be we would be looked at a little differently if we had zero in the budget, moving forward, but that's just my opinion. But I think the board does need to discuss, as we're finalizing this year's upcoming budget, how much do we want to put forward? What is that number? But I do think, and I'll let Chief Sentence speak on where we are on maintenance, but I know it's going to cost a little bit of money. And these machines aren't absolute garbage. They're good machines that just are very costly. And unlike the police department, when we have a vehicle go down, it's minimal compared to these costs. So, Chief, do you have any questions? You all received the email, right, on the maintenance? So I guess maybe you don't have any questions.
I have a comment.
Okay.
Not a question. First of all, Chief Sentes has answered a lot of my questions in the past 2 weeks since we've had a meeting, so thank you very much, Chief. He's been very thorough in trying to talk me through everything and even answered ridiculous requests that I asked for. But I am kind of at the same standpoint that I was in the last meeting. We talked about putting back the same amount of money that we were using for the debt service previously, because that was already built in, and holding that back for working on the capital improvement for all of these vehicles. So I don't feel like my position on that has changed. I would like to still continue to put that money back, because that's what we have been, so that we can build up capital for this, so when we do have to replace a rig, that we have funds to do that. I do understand that we are gonna have to invest some money immediately because of some things that are down. But again, similar to what you said, Administrator Sutton, is I also do worry that if we have a line item saying that we have $100,000 or $150,000 sitting there, what is our likelihood that we're going to be able to receive a grant if we do have that? So I would rather keep the money in the general fund and put back the $50,000 for capital improvement. I don't know how my fellow trustees feel, but that's where I'm standing currently.
That sounds fair. I mean, if we put it in not the fire truck fund, so we don't get turned down for a grant, I'm fine with that. So,
That's
I'm just concerned, just to make sure that we stay operational and operationally ready. Chief Sentes has done a wonderful job. He's on top of it. Our maintenance people are coming in on holidays and weekends and things like that. We've had some unfortunate mechanical occurrences lately, and the stock of our fire trucks, it's just been something that hasn't been a priority to a certain degree that I think it should be for public safety. So that's my concern, is I just want to make sure that we're moving forward on the same page. And if anybody has any questions, I just don't want anything misconstrued about our standing where this is at. Our fire department has increased and just grown, and it's come leaps and bounds in just this past year from where it was before. And thanks to Chief Sentes and his leadership, and Chief Artis's leadership prior to him, we've really changed a lot of stuff, and I want to make sure we're staying in a position to win, because with this public safety, there is no second place. It's a no failure mission.
And I will say, out of the discussions I've had with all the board members on this topic, I think everybody's on the same page here. I think the only difference is how much we should put back moving forward, but I do not get the impression of anybody up here that doesn't feel the same way, Trustee Steinwaddle.
Okay.
So I think we're on the right page. We're on the same team moving forward. We all know what we have to do. And again, I would reiterate that Chief Sentes is doing a great job, and appreciate that. So, but no, I think we're in a good
Okay.
shape.
Sounds good.
Trustee Steinwaddle, I just want to add that, just like every department here, right, like the neglect that's happened in the previous years before this board was here isn't at fault of any like department or department head that sits here today. I think this board has done a lot to move forward to support the fire department. I mean, 6 years ago, their budget was sitting at $350,000. Today it sits like what, close to 1.3 million. So, I don't think the rigs going down or us having problems with these machines is a reflection of you or Chief Sentes or anyone on the department. It just goes from years of neglect in every department that this village has, and we're just trying to catch up with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think, I think we're taking a little bit different, more proactive approach to, not letting something fester that should be. But, I can't fault them for doing what I wasn't in their shoes when they made the decisions they made in the past. So, moving forward, it matters what we do today moving forward, and I think
Absolutely.
that's most important, so.
Any other comments on this item? Okay. So we'll move on to news business. First on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Trustee Reichert, seconded by Trustee DeVore. Are there any trustees wishing to remove anything from the consent agenda? Hearing none. Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle.
Aye.
Trustee Kazam.
Aye.
Trustee Simmons.
Aye.
Trustee DeVore.
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We're now down to ordinance 2026-1787, an ordinance providing for the vacation of alley. Trustee DeVore?
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-1787.
Second.
Okay, motion by Trustee DeVore, seconded by Trustee Steinwaddle. Trustee DeVore?
I'm actually going to defer to council on this, as he's the one that's been doing all the dealings with this to explain it to us.
Thank you. It's been a while since we've vacated an alley. I can't remember. There may be some people here who've never seen that before. So we have a lot of alleys in town that were platted but are not in use. I think this is one of them. Chris, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but or police department, but this is the east-west alley that runs between Glen and Samuel. So parallel to Glen and Samuel, halfway on the block. From the GIS, it looks like it's never been paved. Maybe it was gravel.
If we were talking east of Columbus?
East of, yes,
East of Columbus or east of Constantine? It's east of Constantine, right?
east of Constantine, correct.
Yeah, that is
They're all the way down there. And we had previously vacated the alley at that end of that block that runs north and south. This runs east and west into the alley that we previously vacated.
Right.
If you look at the plat, it will make a little bit of sense. It's like page 3 of the vacation ordinance. It kind of shows what is being vacated. The unique circumstances with this property owner is that they own the lots on both sides, both north and south. So it's a long, narrow lot, relatively narrow, running south from Glen all the way down to Samuel. So that alley, with respect to that lot, serves no purpose. So there would be no real reason to leave it as alley and no reason not to vacate it. We have the authority to do that. We usually have the property owner pay the attorney fees and then pay the recording fees. So the attorney fees piece is in the ordinance. And like I say, this is a customary thing that we do when the circumstances are appropriate, and here they are.
So this is, I know the property, and it's been functioning as one property for decades, and that alley, even though it exists in legal documents, is not paved, it's grass, it looks like lawn, and there isn't an alley on either side of it either. I mean, there isn't any visible. It just looks like people's backyards.
Yeah, so what is the situation? You said the situation, when the situation warrants it, we do this, like, what is the
Yeah,
situation?
if it's not used. If we're not using it and we don't need it for village purposes, it's a platted alley, but it's just not in use. There's no reason having it,
But-
continue to be village right of way as opposed to separately owned.
These two parcels were conjoined recently, correct?
They were.
Okay, so you have a parcel on the north side facing Glen, then you have a parcel on the south side. It looks like they're about 30-foot wide, correct?
Yep.
125 feet long, so this make a 250-foot long total parcel, but right in the center is an alley that cuts almost all the way through where they intersect. And so that leaves, I would say, about 5 feet to 10 feet, somewhere there,
10.
of land that connects those two parcels. All we're doing is vacating that little rectangle cutout of that dead-end alley, and I checked, the alley doesn't go anywhere, there's no, the only question I would have is there any sort of utility easement that we need to be aware of on that alley, or?
Yeah, easements aren't affected by the
Okay.
vacation, so.
Okay. Yeah, then it just makes it one parcel. It goes 30 feet from Glen all the way to Samuel. 30-foot wide parcel goes all the way from Glen to Samuel.
You're not aware of any water or anything that would be
No, we
in the
don't.
alley, that would be
Nope.
in the streets? Yep,
Yeah, the water's out in the street
I
there.
assumed as much,
I'm not sure about the sewer, but I imagine the sewer's out front too.
correct.
So, council, it's my understanding, especially with a vacation of village property, this requires a supermajority of
It
vote,
does, I believe 3/4.
3/4.
Right?
One thing I'll say, just for the sake of the people who are property owners, or as far as combining parcels and anything to do with subdivision of parcels, the plat official of the village is the administrator. So before anything can be filed with the county, the plat official in our local municipality needs to sign off on any plats that are either conjoined or subdivided.
What was the address on that again?
Are you looking for the parcel
15.
number, or
1516 East Glen.
would you like the parcel number it comes up under on GIS?
That's right here,
It would come 1422-405,
Yeah,
and then it's 011 and 023.
we'd have to eminent
I think
domain
this,
that or
I
buy
think
it.
this would be the alley if it were to continue, so I think.
But it's like multiple properties don't have alley then.
Right,
It's only this person here that's asking.
yeah, because they got this one and this one.
Unless, if we ever wanted to use that alley, we would have to go and either purchase or eminent domain alleyway to Constantine. So it's a non-used,
Which, if I'm correct, we used to have an alley that ran north and south at the end of that.
Right.
Before that house there.
yeah,
It went that way,
But
and we
it's
got
already
rid,
been
yeah,
vacated.
we vacated that. So this just dead ends and goes 20 feet into their
Yeah.
property,
Correct.
basically.
Because they already have all of this, where these people.
Are we required to mow the grass there?
No.
Right, so this one here, this one's here. They have.
Thank you, council. Any discussion or questions for the property owner?
So they basically wanted to get rid of that. I don't have any questions.
No.
Okay, are we all ready then?
Yep.
Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazan?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert? Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Okay, we're now down to approval of an MFT resolution in the amount of $340,000 for road salt, seal coating, spray patching, and engineering. Trustee Reichert?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by trustee Reichert, seconded by trustee DeVore. Trustee Reichert.
All right, looks like this is,
4 different signatures that are needed for the MFT funds to be used to pay for road salt, seal coating, spray patching, and engineering per Herman and Associates. Do I defer? over to-
Yeah, it's just, sorry, it's just the yearly spray patching and the purchase of our salt that we use for winter salting and the seal coating, and then, of course, the engineering to do all that.
I assume it's budgeted for.
Comes right out of NFT. Yeah.
Is this an increase over the previous year?
I wouldn't think so.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit, maybe a small amount.
Just
Is
a,
it?
just a CPI type increase, okay, yeah.
Good questions. Any other questions? Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazan?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Riker? Aye.
Motion carries. We are now down to ordinance 2026-1788, and special ordinance authorizing the seating of private activity bonding authority. Trustee DeVore.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-1788.
Second.
Motion by Trustee DeVore, seconded by Trustee Weisenberg. Trustee DeVore.
So, we do this annually, but basically the village, based on population, has an amount that we can bond in finances every year. If we do not use those bonds, they go back to the state unless we provide, direct allocation to Tri-County River Valley Development Authority. So we've done this every year so that bonding authority doesn't go back to the state, but then goes into a fund with everyone in the region. So whether ourselves or someone else need to be able to bond more than our allocation, we have that. It also allows us to be able to bond that same amount up to 3 years. So in the past, we've always approved this just to help kind of hold on to our bonding authority with the state.
Very well explained. Any other questions or concerns about this item?
Is this the only company that does this, or what entity is it that holds this? What type of entity is this?
I don't know that they're the only one that does it, but Tri-County has done it for the entire area.
Okay.
For multiple years, I mean, decades, I believe. So they kind of like manage all of the paperwork and everything that goes along with having this seating and holding on to the money
Sure.
and making sure the state is all wrapped up with all
And
of
there's no fee on our end for this? Okay.
No.
Perfect.
They're the umbrella organization that kind of oversees the bonding authority under that program, if you will.
Okay.
So this is just us saying, we're not gonna borrow funds, this year, so if somebody else wants to borrow, they can. Doesn't obligate the village in any way. We're just turning over our portion of what we could borrow to the other communities that may need it.
Okay. Just acts as a
And
third
then
party.
what's nice about that is being in that umbrella organization, if we ever do need to borrow, it's likely that we're gonna need more than what our community is allocated, and we can tap the other communities that in that year have ceded their authority to borrow, 5 or 10 times as much as we otherwise would be able to borrow.
That makes
So we're just
sense.
helping out our sister communities.
Excellent.
Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazan?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Riker? Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Ordinance 2026-1789, an ordinance authorizing the Village of Peoria Heights of Peoria County, Illinois, to borrow funds from the Public Water Supply Loan Program. Trustee Simmons?
Thank you, Mayor. I make a motion for ordinance 2026-1789, an ordinance authorizing the Village of Peoria Heights of Peoria County, Illinois, to borrow funds from the Public Water Supply Loan Program.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Simmons, seconded by Trustee DeVore. Trustee Kazam. Trustee Simmons, go right ahead.
I first and foremost want to thank council on the guidance and the very specific outline on the ordinance. I'm going to pull from that ordinance, and if anybody has any questions. This is the implementation of a manganese treatment process at the water treatment plant. The estimated cost of construction and installation of the project, including engineering, legal, financial, and other related expenses, is $8,500,000, and there are insufficient funds on hand and lawfully available to pay these costs. The costs are expected to be paid for with a loan to the Village of Peoria Heights from the Public Water Supply Loan Program through IEPA, The loan to be repaid from the revenues of the system. The loan shall bear an interest rate not to exceed the maximum rate authorized by the Board Authorization Act. I want to mention that the principal and interest payment shall be payable semi-annually, and the loan shall mature in 28 years, which is within the period of the useful life of the project. The village is authorized to borrow funds from the Public Water Supply Program in total sum amount of not to exceed $9,500,000. It is my recommendation of determination that it is necessary in the best interests of the village to construct the project for the public health, safety, and welfare of our community.
Thank you, Trustee Simmons. Any questions or comments on this item?
I see that the interest reverts back to 30 ILCS 305 /0.01. What exactly are they basing the interest rate on this off of?
That is going to be an interest rate that's going to be determined at the time of the loan, and I do not have that number at this moment.
Okay. Are they using legal counsel? Do you know if this is coming off of like a prime rate, or is this coming off of a bonds, or?
It's gonna be a bond rate, so it'll be much
Okay.
lower than prime.
Okay, perfect. Is any of this forgivable?
That's a really good question that I can't answer. As I sit here, I'm not sure that it is, but I don't know who, Superintendent Chandler, have you been involved in the
Not so
procuring of
much
this loan?
in the bonding part of it, but it's more
Okay.
of what we're looking at building.
Yeah.
That might be a question for Mark Lee.
Or Woodard and Curran,
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
inquire
Yeah,
with
sure.
them.
Makes sense.
Thank you for asking that.
Okay. So are we comfortable moving forward? Trustee Simon?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
this goes towards the water treatment facility, correct? Okay, yeah,
The manganese, yep.
let's get it.
Okay, Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're now down to Resolution 2026-01, a resolution authorizing a representative to sign loan documents. Trustee Simmons?
Thank you. I make a motion for Resolution 2026-01, resolution authorizing a representative to sign loan documents.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Simmons, seconded by Trustee DeVore. Trustee Simmons.
I'd like to request from the board approval for authorization of our village administrator Sutton to execute loan agreements for the village regarding the execution of the loan agreement with the IEPA.
On the paperwork here, it has the mayor is in the, on that, okay, just signing off on it?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
for the loans from the Public Water Supply
Perfect.
Loan Program.
yep, that works.
Hearing no more comments or questions, Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're now down to approval of notice of intent to award the lead service line replacement fiscal year 2026. Trustee Simmons.
We're busy in the water department, aren't we? I ask for a motion, or I should say, make a motion for approval of notice of intent to award for lead service line replacement.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Simmons, seconded by Trustee DeVore. Trustee Simmons.
Thank you. Just to give you a little history here, Woodard and Curran on February 18th at the Village Hall had open bidding. We had 4 contractors that placed bids on the project for the lead service line replacement. I want to thank all those contractors that submitted their bid and their time. The lowest bid company that came in was J.C. Dillon Incorporated. I also want to thank Don Tall and his team, Woodard and Curran, for their guidance and their professionalism during this process. Moving towards J.C. Dillon has a history that they just were awarded the lead line investigation project as well. Everybody was given a outline of the bids that were provided, the breakdown of cost per serviced unit. And we have a letter of intent to award J.C. Dillon for the contract price of $2,696, or excuse me, I can't even say it. $2,696,116.50 on unit price for the project.
Thank you, Trustee Simmons.
Sorry about the mess up on the number there. I apologize.
It's okay. Any comments or questions about the awarding of the contract?
I do want to mention that I did request from Stephanie a breakdown, and we'll get that later on what is the portion of the forgiveness on that loan. So she'll get that number for us a little later. Yep.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on this item?
I guess what's the, what am I missing? That on the bids that were received for the project, it was $830,253, but then on the contract will be based on $2,600,000.
I had asked that question myself, and it was explained that it is upon unit prices according to the breakdown, and there are unknowns. So this number here is what we're going to award for them to do the work up to this number.
So Trustee Vore, what the bids were given was they were given a hypothetical situation with
Thank you.
this much this, this much this, this much this,
Thank you.
and then they came up with that bid.
Okay.
Thank you for asking that, Sarah.
So I'm glad to see Dillon Plumbing in this. They're a great company. They do good work. Is Five Star, they're not a local company, correct?
No, they're not.
Okay, so are they sending people here and having to house people during this project? Is that,
5-star on the last project they did.
okay, so that's, I would assume that's
Yeah.
gonna be a substantial cost if you have housing plus per diem on the food and everything like that.
Fair enough. Any other comments on this item? Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert? Aye.
Motion carries. We're now down to approval of purchase of 2 public works vehicles in the amount of $78,128. Trustee Reichert?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Reichert, seconded by Trustee Simmons. Trustee Reichert?
Okay, so I was just trying to look these up, because the total that are on the two statements don't add up to what is being asked for. So I just wanted to confirm that you guys are looking for a 26 Ford truck Maverick, 26.6. You're gonna trade in a 2014 and 2017 truck.
No, those are escapes, but yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Two separate vehicles
Yeah,
will
two
be
separate
going towards
vehicles,
that,
but they're both, it just says truck escape, so.
yeah. Right, yeah.
So you're trading those two in towards the Maverick, which is a small truck. Is it gonna be enough for you guys?
Yeah, this will be, it's replacing one of the escapes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So then the other one is the Ram 1500, and I was trying to find it on their website.
It's a Ford F-250,
Ye-
not a Ram.
Oh, this one's yours? Why do I only have one then? Did I miss a page? Oh, I missed the page. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Ignore me, that's why my totals were off. Okay, I don't have anything else to say. They want to buy 2 trucks, and they're gonna trade in 2 to get 2, so there we go.
And that Ford
other one's a
250 will
25.
be replacing we have a smaller water van that basically goes to all the customer service calls and
Yeah.
runs the water
The other
daily.
one, I had no questions about
Yeah.
the
Yep.
Ram that I looked up, apparently. That's not for you, but yeah. okay.
And also, I will comment that we're getting rid of 3 vehicles and only taking 2 back.
Okay.
So we're
Yeah, well, now
taking
that I-
one off the rolls that won't need to be insured or licensed anymore.
Yeah, because you're trading in this other 2017 truck Transit, now that I can see
Correct. Yeah, that's getting traded in.
the
on
right statement?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. We're buying
Sure.
too many vehicles this
No
meeting.
worries.
Okay.
Is
So-
this a four-wheel drive vehicle?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. And the life expectancy of those Ford Super Duties is significant?
Yeah, they're pretty significant,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
They'll be here longer than me.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, any other questions about this item? Hearing none, Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're now down to approval of purchase of police vehicle in the amount of $47,525. Trustee Weisenberg?
I move to approve purchase of police vehicle.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Weisenberg, seconded by Trustee Simmons. Trustee Weisenberg?
Thanks, Mayor. So this is for a purchase of a police vehicle for $47,525. It's coming out of this year's budget. Was there anything you wanted to add, Chief?
No, sir. We are trading in a Charger that it's on its last leg. We're going to be lucky to make it to Pekin with it, so it was a necessity.
Perfect. It's pretty standard,
Well, I
because
was-
these are state bids, aren't they, Chief?
Yes, sir. They are in state bid.
Correct. I just want to point out, both vehicles, the Public Works and Police Department will be used, we're using the surplus this year to pay for these. Both these items were projected for next year, but we're trying to free up a good chunk of money because we do know there's some water expenses that are probably going to be coming up next year. We want to be prepared, but because of the surplus, I've asked the department heads to get this in this year's budget. So we've kind of spread that wealth across the board. So I appreciate that, guys.
When we start to replace I assume we're gonna do police vehicles next year as well.
This will probably take care of next year's vehicle.
Okay.
The one Charger we have left will be able to last another probably 2 years.
Okay.
And the Durangos are old enough, are young enough that.
Next time we start to look at the trade-in, can we look at Chief Sentes's administrative vehicle? I think his is what, a 2016? Or somewhere in that neighborhood. It's an older vehicle, and possibly just see if there's any, we could trade that as opposed to I don't know the cost of retrofitting it to what he needs, but
Yeah.
just at least look at that next time we do
Yeah,
this.
definitely.
Okay.
Okay, any other comments on this item? Well, again, thank you to Administrator Sutton, and again, this board for being fiscally responsible. Administrator Sutton brought up that this is coming out of the current year's budget surplus. So if you're keeping track at home, that's $217,000 in a balloon payment to the fire department. That's $78,000 in a public works vehicles, and that's $47,000 to the police vehicle out of, again, the surplus that we have been able to maintain here in Peoria Heights. So pretty impressive. Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're now down to request for street closure on Prospect Road from Kelly Avenue to Cyberlane Avenue for the Mount Moon Festival on Saturday, August 29th, 2026. Trustee Weisenberg.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Trustee Weisenberg, seconded by Trustee DeVore, and I think we may have some people out in the audience tonight from the Mount Moon Festival as well.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you again for hearing our request. I'm thrilled to be here in front of you once again requesting street closure for Mount Moon Fest 2026 on Saturday, August 29th. As you may recall, Mount Moon Fest is an annual 2-day event that celebrates independent music and creative culture, featuring talented local and touring musicians. Each year, we work hard to bring a curated lineup of fantastic musicians and vendors, creating an accessible environment for anyone to come out, discover new artists, and enjoy the Heights. During last year's festival, we brought 17 artists and over 800 concert goers to the Heights over the course of the weekend and donated over $10,000 to Lula NFP. This would not have been possible without your support, so on behalf of everyone on the Mount Moon Collective team, thank you. Since last August, we have taken several steps to make this year's festival the most successful and well-attended yet. The most important development since last year is that Mount Moon Fest is now fiscally sponsored by Fractured Atlas, a national nonprofit arts organization. This sponsorship allows us to seek grant funding and tax-deductible contributions, allowing us to invest in professional event infrastructure, safety, marketing, and artist recruitment while reducing the financial burden on our attendees and local partners. We are currently seeking a grant from the Community Foundation for this year's festival. Sorry. Last year, we came here to make this request in mid-May. Having approval for street closure 2 months sooner than last year will allow us to work with more Peoria Heights businesses and organizations, informing them of the event and discussing any potential involvement they may be interested in. We strive for this event to be an opportunity for attendees from all over Illinois to come and experience Peoria Heights for all of the great businesses, people, and culture it has to offer, and we are excited to start the process of making that vision a reality again this summer.
Thank you. Any questions of Mount Moon Festival?
Who was the charity this year?
The charity this year, typically what we do is on our Mount Moon Instagram page, we crowdfund ideas for who the charity should be from year to year. This year, we're going to likely pick an arts organization in the community, but the charity for this year is not decided upon yet.
I guess my only question for conversation's sake would be, it pertains more to the road closure for just one block for 2 days. I guess maybe that conversation, I know since.
Our request is only for Saturday.
Oh, just for Saturday?
Yeah.
Since last year's event, they do have a parking lot that's paved and pretty large, because it is pretty costly for us to shut down the road, you know, as far as public works, opening back up, the barricades, just for sake of discussion, if the village is all right with that. I'm not sure if you approached the Pabst building as far as using their parking lot for this event. It's pretty large. I didn't know if that was an option. I know that some concert venues have discussed that in the future, so I didn't know if that would be something you would interest you. It'd be less work and cost on the village to close it down on the weekend, but that's just, like I said, if the board wants to do that, but got to keep that in consideration. Take that into consideration.
Any other comments from the board on this item?
Is that an option for your event? Is it enough space? Like, is it an option? Like,
I just want to make sure I understand the question. You weren't referring to that as a parking solution. You were talking about that, hosting the event there?
Yeah, the event there, because it is if you look at the parking lot, it is a larger area than just that one block when you shut it off, because you're just talking about the street. I mean, you have much more area if the parking lot is an event. It was just for discussion, because I know that it's been discussed recently that that's going to be a venue for a possible concert, and I think that's what you're doing, so I'm thinking that could work there. It'd be less work on the village, definitely less cost. So I'm just, for the sake of discussion, unless the board doesn't even want to go there, but I think it should be at least.
No, I think it's a good suggestion. I don't know if you've had that conversation with the owners of the building and the parking lot, and if they would charge a fee, and then if this happens where your patrons would be parking. So is this something that you've thought about?
So we work closely with the 33 room to put this event on every year. The first 2 years it was in the Heights, it was in their back parking lot, obviously before the renovations. I personally have not even seen back there since they started breaking ground or anything like that. What I will say is that the initial idea to have the street closure for Mount Moon Fest came at around this time last year, and it wasn't necessarily just for the space, but it's to involve more of the community of Peoria Heights itself, and having the event in the back parking lot as opposed to just on that block of street, severely cuts out like Sullivan's, Casa Agave, all of those stores and businesses up Prospect who we are excited to get more involved for this year. So certainly is something we can look into for future events. But for this event, we do feel strongly that the street closure would result in putting on the best event.
I have another question about the barricades. If we're just closing off one side of the street, how do those?
No, it'll be both sides.
Oh, both sides,
Both
okay.
sides. So
Okay,
it
sorry,
will be rerouted similar to
okay,
a much scaled down version, of
Yeah.
course, but same thing.
like taste or something, okay.
You know, I don't know, just moving So is there an option to have just one side of the road closed down and not?
It's a safety issue. We discussed that in the past. I think with cars and pedestrian, it's too much of a risk. It's better off just shutting the whole thing down and rerouting them around.
People seem to get really confused when you try to shut.
Well, we did it one year
Yeah.
and it was a disaster.
Crazy.
The first
was,
Taste of the
yes.
Heights
Yeah.
was a utter disaster.
Yeah.
And
It's a lot safer to just close the road.
Safety is
All the way.
very important.
And moving it off the main road on a Saturday, because there's a lot of traffic on a Saturday, and a lot of the businesses, especially that time of year, they're looking for a lot of people going through that area.
Has this event been communicated to the businesses in that section of the block?
Not yet. That is, we were waiting until we had approval to inform them that the event would be happening on that section of the block. We did have some discussions a couple weeks ago with people at Casa Agave and Sullivan's, just telling them, asking them how the event was for them last year, and
Sure.
we're hoping to have a, like financial statements on the part of both of those businesses, just talking about, what the event actually meant for them. But we haven't been able to get in touch with the right people for that yet. But, the next step obviously is to get in front of, everybody on Prospect, not just that block. And, one, obviously inform them of the event happening, but to involve them as much as they desire to be involved in the event when it happens.
Is Tower Park free on that day? Does anybody know?
so I have a calendar in my office that I forgot to bring down, but I
wasn't
haven't.
going to ask.
But yeah, I will grab that before miscellaneous business, because I know we want to talk America 250 this evening as well. But I do have a list of all the dates that Tower Park is reserved.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just have some concern shutting Prospect down for a charitable event. We do shut down we give the park free use basically for about anybody that wants to do, anything on there. But we really restrict Prospect for more community events such as Taste of the Heights, the St. Patrick's Day, that kind of stuff, where it is really a strong community event and not just something that's directed towards a charitable, fundraiser for a specific group. So that would be my concern, shutting down a public roadway for, just a charitable organization for just a small group. But, I would like to see if Tower Park's available. We don't want to exclude you.
While we're waiting on that, I just want to add, so I have a business right across the street from that, and do we have one more? No? No, you have it. I'll just wait.
It's fine.
And last year it was not a problem for my business. I would just like to remind you that I do think it's imperative that you do need to speak to all the businesses, not just the restaurants, because the boutiques, the candle stores,
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
all matter
Yeah.
too. And I don't think they were all notified last year, which doesn't give them the opportunity to prepare their clientele for the street to be closed.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, something we've learned and a concern that's been brought up before, based off of last year. And that is certainly a priority, is to get everybody involved, not just informed. So,
Would you consider Tower Park, it looks like it is free on the 29th, and that, being that you're partnering with a nonprofit, I believe nonprofits, you can have them basically a liquor license, a temporary liquor license, at an event up here, so that wouldn't be an issue moving forward, as long as legal counsel doesn't have an issue with it. Would that be something you consider? That way we're not shutting the street down, you have a stage that's covered, you've got, a place for people with kids and things like that if they are up here.
so I respect that you want to hold the street closure for community events, and that is the goal with Mount Moonfest moving forward. Like I said, we have the fiscal sponsorship, and if we get the grant from the Community Foundation, that will allow us to not require this to be a ticketed event in the future. So we don't need, I mean, we'll probably still get the fence for safety issues, but, you know, like everybody can just come because we're not gonna need to get our own money back out of it, that we invest up front. So, in order for the event to grow, like I said, we did about over 800 people last year. You know, with the additional funding going into the planning stage this year, I mean, the ceiling is just however, you know, much we can spend on marketing and on, you know, more talent potentially from Chicago to pull people to Peoria Heights for that weekend. So in order for this to grow and become a large community event, you know, we'd like to continue with the precedent that it's street closure, because, you know, as we're continuing to build this and turn it into like a St. Patrick's Day like scale event, we think it's necessary.
Okay. Yeah, my concern is just that we're closing down our main road through the upper part of the Heights here for a charitable event that, you know, we really don't close the road down for much else. I mean, other than St. Patrick's Day or Taste in the Heights, you know, and those are, I mean, you just can't hold those anywhere else. And you know, the businesses, I'd like to hear from the businesses that are out front there, how that affected them last year, you know, what their thoughts were.
As much as I like the idea of the parking lot administrator having the event there, it also draws a concern of where are people going to park for that event.
Well, I'm not sure they're gonna use that lot if they have it on the street. I'm not sure if that's gonna be accessible
Oh,
or not.
and
That
you know what?
conversation
Good point.
needs to be had.
That's right. Yeah,
You know,
no, you're
I
right.
think they'll find if they wanna, just like everything else in the Heights, if they wanna get there, they'll
They
find
won't
somewhere
even
to
get to the
park.
parking lot. That's all right. I apologize. Thank you.
Personally, I'd like to,
Yeah.
you know, just thoughts on deferring this. Let's do our due diligence with the businesses through there and see what they think, you know.
I did have a thought that I just thought of. What about the road that's by CVS? Instead of closing Prospect, close that road that is south of the 33 room. Williams Brothers could get through the CVS lot.
Right.
So they could get to their business if they had to, and then they could hold that on that street.
Would you have to get approval from the Williams Brothers for that, though, right?
We own that road.
It's
Oh.
ours.
It's our road.
We would let them know.
And it's a Saturday, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a thought. I mean, it's just a thought I thought of.
I think that's a really good
It's a
suggestion.
good idea.
Yeah, if it would be big enough, I mean, that would be an alternative, yeah.
Right.
Do you know
And-
which road they're talking about? It's perpendicular, rather than the Prospect, it's perpendicular to the 33 room.
At the light, you just head west, and there's
That's on, because if the CVS is like
It would be
here, you're
Kelly.
talking about,
it would be Kelly Avenue.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Again, I will say that, you know, the goal, obviously, it is being a charity event in the sense that us, Mount Moon Collective, never take any money ourselves. You know, we donate it all. But the purpose of the event itself is to bring people to Peoria Heights and enjoy the Heights for what they are. So, you know, the road closure on that specific block, I mean, again, we work with the 33 room primarily on this, and that's, you know, right outside. It enables them to have a booth at the event, and it's a lot easier for them. And again, it puts us in the center of those businesses, and I believe that specific block gives the highest amount of attendee participation in the Peoria Heights economy.
Well, I don't think anybody's questioning the purpose. I think everybody agrees on that up here. I think the problem we're running into is that you have a main street in Peoria Heights, a little different than a main street in Metamora, Chillicothe, and it's highly traveled, it's a main vein, and it does come with some costs on our end. So I think that's why the discussion is, it's not your purpose or anything else. I think that's great, but we have to discuss that on the inconvenience of our community, on how that impacts them. So that's why I brought it up. You know, as far as, you know, Public Works, police, I mean, there'll be some cost there, obviously, but the inconvenience of going around just for a block, for on the weekend is gonna be, we all know what that's like. We only close it down for 3 events. It's the art fair, the St. Patrick's Day, and then the Taste of the Heights. Those are the 3 things.
Sure. Would there be an appetite for discussing at the next meeting?
Or in
If I made a
between now
motion.
and the next meeting?
Yeah,
That way you
work
can
with
go back
Administrator
and
Sutton.
confer with everyone else involved in the project. And
I'd like to make a motion to defer this to the
Well,
next
I
meeting.
got a question first. So if we're gonna defer, who's talking to who?
I would talk to Administrator Sutton and Chandler.
To determine what?
Mountain.
I don't mind the deferment, I just, what is our objective?
I would like to see, possibly look at some other options, see what would be the best for the village holistically, as opposed to just shutting down the main road. Because if we start this for a charitable event, you know, we're setting a precedent really moving forward for more charitable events. I mean, if somebody wants to have a charity event, let's shut down Prospect again. And I don't want us to get into the habit of just shutting down Prospect, which inconveniences a lot of business, inconveniences residents. I would like to look at some other options and just make sure we're making the best decision on this and not set that precedent right away without some really good, thorough thought and follow through.
So are there any options that we haven't discussed? Because I think we've discussed.
Well, and I don't think any of those options are gonna pacify what they're asking.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
They're dead set on the road closure. I think the village needs to make a decision. Are we gonna move forward and close the road? Because you're exactly right. We are setting a precedent. If we do it for one, we're gonna have 2, 3, 4, and 5, before the year's over, I'm sure. Because we do get them once in a while now.
Yes.
Of just for one-dayers, and we just don't do that normally. But we did make an exception last year, but it was, as I outlined a minute ago, this is what comes with it. There is a cost, there is an inconvenience, and I did get a lot of calls on the weekend as far as rerouted traffic, and I think I spoke to half the people up here about it. It was, it wasn't seamless, but that's what I'm getting at. I just make sure, and will we do it again if that's what the board wants? But I just said, for the sake of conversation, you need to know what went into that last year. It wasn't, there was a little bit of work, and it did have a ripple effect, so.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm okay with the vote now, because it sounds like we're not gonna approve it.
that's fine.
And then, that doesn't prevent them from going back to the drawing board and coming to us with an alternative plan.
Correct.
I like the CVS plan.
I couldn't hear what she said.
I like the road in between Kelly Avenue. I like the Kelly Avenue.
I like the CVS plan as well, yeah.
I like the fact that you have that option to look into and consider safety and the other businesses as well that are involved in that closure. Having that dialogue with them firsthand before making such a drastic decision on their business is important to me.
And I don't think, I'll go back to the parking lot idea, I don't think that's gonna be the isolation that you think it is. I think that when something large is going on in the Heights, and they have a lot of events back there, the path before it was finished, and it was well-attended. So I don't think that's gonna be the isolation that you think it's gonna be. So I would hope that you would come back with maybe some other solutions, and go look at the Kelly Avenue, if that's one of them, if you're not familiar with that area. I'm not sure if that's gonna be big enough, but it's definitely an option.
Well, I think about the Food and Wine Festival Administrator, which is, 800 people attend or more, and it is one of the most popular events in our community, and that is on Williams Brothers property generally, so.
And that's where it's held, right behind the building.
Yeah.
You can see it from Prospect.
I know we certainly appreciate you bringing the event to the Heights and wanting to bring, people that want to patronage, trying to say the word, to come to shop our Heights. But if you would work with us on that information and take it and think about it and bring it back.
My question to you would be is, if this were deferred, what is it that you would like to see on our end, in terms of speaking with the businesses on that block of Prospect, that would make you more confident in a decision to shut down the street?
And I don't mean to speak for the board, but I don't think the board is gonna vote to close the street under any circumstance. That's the feel I'm getting.
Yeah.
I don't think I have the support to shut the street down. So I don't think it matters what information you bring back, because it doesn't look like the board wants to shut the street down.
I'd love to see, have you have a conversation with the owners of the Pabst building, because sounds like you're in partnership with the 33 room. The 33 room is in that building, and you have this beautiful new parking lot behind. If we close down the street in front, I think it prohibits accessibility to the parking lot. Am I remembering that right? So patrons won't be able to park back there. I'd love to see you have a conversation with them first.
Yes.
Okay, so currently I have a motion by trustee Steinwaddle to defer.
I'll withdraw my motion for right now.
I just didn't think a motion to defer something that we're not gonna approve. Like, we're not gonna approve the street closures, so. I'd
If they
rather-
had no other, like, if there was no other option,
Right.
we would, you feel like unilaterally, we still would not approve?
I think there are options now, whether they want to entertain those options, I
Sure.
think is the,
Yeah.
is the takeaway here.
Yeah, you can come back next meeting and with a different proposal, absolutely. Nobody here wants to see you not succeed.
Right.
We are all in your corner.
And that isn't the message I'm getting
Okay.
by any means, yeah.
Well, we want to see you succeed on this, and the thing, though, we have to do is that we have to look out for the entire community. We can't just say we're going to do this for one section of the community and disregard, the implications for that for the other portion of our community. So we really do have to look out for all the business owners together. We have to look out for the best interest. But at the same time, you have Administrator Sutton up here. You've got Chandler here. You've got Chief Ahart. Everybody here would be more than happy to help you out and work with you on finding a location that does work in the best interest of the community and does make you successful. I don't think we've ever said that we don't want to see somebody succeed up here. We just want to make sure that we're looking out for everybody all together and not just shutting down, like Administrator Sutton said, one small, we're shutting down our main thoroughfare for the top portion of the Heights in order just to have one charitable event. Because if we do it for you, then we have to start doing it for everybody. And I can guarantee you people like 33 Room, Sullivan's, the other restaurants would start to get annoyed if we have street closures every other Saturday. So.
Are we voting on it tonight, or?
Okay.
Certainly appreciate the effort that you guys are putting in to
Yeah.
recommend alternatives, because that's not something you have to do by any means. That is something that is a decision I cannot make alone. We got a team.
And that's
Honestly,
why I realize that it's a collective. If we had all the decision makers on your end here, we could have this discussion right now. But I don't want to put you in a position where you're the sole decision maker that has to go back to the collective and say, this is what we had to agree to. So what I want to do is kind of give you some time to say, hey, the board really isn't on board with this, but they do want to see us succeed. They're willing to work with us and help us out. Let's relook at this and come back to the table, and that's all I'm saying.
So wouldn't it be better for us to defer it
That's
then?
what I was just
Because then it
thinking.
will
If you
be
want, yeah.
guaranteed to be on the next.
Yeah.
We
That
could
way we're
choose
not
the
saying
next-
no, yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
I agree with that.
I'll make
Trustee
the
DeVore.
motion again to defer.
second.
Okay, I have a motion to defer again by trustee Steinwaddle.
Yes,
And seconded this time by trustee DeVore. We'll now discuss the motion to defer. Is there any questions or comments on this motion?
Just move it to the next meeting? Is 2 weeks enough time for you to have a meeting on your end? And
Now, keep in mind, our next meeting is Wednesday, the 18th,
Oh, yes, that's
not
right.
on Tuesday, the 17th. We moved our next meeting to March 18th.
Yes. Yeah, that gives us time to, take your recommendation seriously on alternatives, speak with businesses and either propose one of the alternatives or come back with more data to support a need for the street closure.
Thank you. And will your
yeah.
point of contact be Administrator Sutton, or who is his point of contact?
It can
Okay.
be, yes.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay. Call the roll.
Any other comments on this item? Good. Trustee DeVore? You good?
I'm great.
Okay, Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
This is for the motion to defer. Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll see you next meeting.
Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.
We're now down to site plan approval application filed by the 33 Room LLC seeking approval of a site plan for an outdoor alcohol consumption area pursuant to section 10-3-4 for the property located at 4541 North Prospect Road. Trustee Kazam.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay,
We
so,
have a motion to approve by Trustee Kazam, seconded by Trustee Steinwaddle. Go ahead, Trustee Kazam.
you all have in your packet the site plan application. It's a really attractive outdoor patio that would be located along Prospect Road and part of the 33 room. This does a lot of things for Prospect Road and the business. One is it adds ADA accessibility to the building through the rear, and also it expands the capacity of the 33 room by almost double. This passed zoning unanimously, but then after further examination, there was a realization that currently in the 33 room, there only is one bathroom. I'm not exactly sure how that happened, but by adding this and doubling the capacity, it would really be difficult to function with just one bathroom. So I don't want to see this construction happen and then them not being able to get a permit for use. So I too will be recommending a deferment so we can have more conversation. I know that they will be pursuing a redevelopment agreement, and so it's possible that within this redevelopment agreement, there could be an addition of a bathroom added within the building. And I think that we need a couple weeks just to have a conversation about this.
Are you making a motion?
I make a motion to defer.
I'll second the motion.
Motion to defer by Trustee Kazam, seconded by Trustee Simmons.
So is this a code violation, or is this just a?
Well, it would be a code violation upon inspection if this were to be built and then there was only one bathroom facility.
Sure.
So what they would need is actually, now with Illinois state law, they would need 2 bathrooms that would be both male and female accessible. And
Okay.
one would, of course, have to be ADA.
Okay, and who would be seeking the redevelopment agreement? Would it be the tenant?
It's the tenant.
Okay, perfect. Is that under, I assume that would be under BDD type?
It could be through TIF or BDD, depending on the scope. I
Okay.
think right now it's been suggested by the Director of Community Relations that it falls under BDD, but I'm not sure. It just
Okay.
depends on the numerical amount.
I would like to add that I did, since we do have that parcel that's adjoining that, next door, Williams Brothers has purchased that. They are going to be leveling that, it sounds like, to make it level with the street, so it'll be accessible off the street. I did run this past them, because I didn't want something to be of
prohibit.
concern or prohibit a future development there. And I got a text message back today that they are okay with that. That
Okay.
works for them. It won't stop or prohibit anything, and they think it looks great.
Yeah, it's
So,
very attractive. And I think Mr. Kennedy is in the audience this evening. If you have anything to add to this.
Would you come to just so that people at home can hear?
I didn't have prepared marks or anything, but I think the big thing here is just right now we're kind of constrained to grow by our space, and there's not really any direction to go but outside, so we're kind of just more or less expanding our little patio out to something bigger where we can have potentially a second outdoor bar that's for the seasons. And we have discussed the bathroom issue before, and we weren't sure if there were, since it's not going to be year-round, if you could use like a porta-john type situation. I don't know if that qualifies or not, so there are discussions we had.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
deferring,
I don't think that would
makes
fly
sense.
with this board, but
That's fair.
we're looking forward to having further
But
conversations
figuring out
with
a
you.
permanent solution, we'd love that. so.
Exactly. And this design falls right into the vision of Peoria Heights. I mean, we have what used to be 12th Bar, and there's lots of conversation about a lot of exterior patios up and along Prospect. So the design is very attractive.
yeah. And just to make sure you don't tell me any years or dates or anything like that, but you do have a long-term lease in place that you will be there for quite a while, correct?
That's another thing we have to
Okay.
do to negotiate.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
There's a lot of balls in
Yeah.
there right now. So
Absolutely.
Mayor, may I ask if we defer, do we need to set a date?
It's up to the board if you'd like to set a date.
What would be,
Feasible?
what you would like to see, Mr. Kennedy?
I mean,
Is 2 weeks enough, or do you want a little, I mean, is there a sense of urgency for this? When are you thinking of breaking ground? I mean, I sounded like in our conversations that you have some more behind-the-scenes things to do.
yeah, there is some of that. I mean, none of us know exactly what these timelines look like, to be honest, because we've not done this. But, I mean, we'd like to do it as soon as possible.
Sure.
And there was some talk about doing it earlier, which we might have missed the window for that anyway. But like since it's out of season, if you get it in like an April time frame, if we started the project then, but I don't know if there's enough time to do that, to be
Okay.
honest.
But you don't have contractors
no,
selected
no,
or
no,
anything like that?
no,
Okay.
nothing like that.
Or
So we're-
construction plans?
Yeah.
I would say we'd like to work as fast with you, get you through this as quickly as possible. So if you want to just leave the date open and you coordinate it with Administrator Sutton, and
Okay.
would that be
Yeah.
best for
Yeah, and
you?
if we just, I mean, like, 'cause I'll have to talk to the other owners, but, so if we decide if it's, you think next,
I think actually
Could be
Trustee
next.
Simmons just pointed out that if we don't put you on the agenda for March 18th, the next available date, the next time we have a meeting would be April 7th. So that's quite a ways away. So
Okay.
I think we should potentially try to shoot for March 18th.
And again, that's a Wednesday.
okay, yeah, I think that should be fine.
Okay,
So yeah, we'll do that, and then if we get into it some and I realize that won't work, then we
great.
can-
Yeah,
shuffle
but, right,
that.
before the agenda is issued, we can always take it off. I mean, we
Okay.
can,
How early are they issued, just?
usually the Thursday or Friday before,
Okay, we'll have it figured
Yeah,
out
okay.
then, so,
thanks.
at least, yeah, general idea.
Great.
Yeah, thanks for taking the initiative on this. This will be a great addition.
Okay, so the motion is to defer to the 18th. Any other comments or questions on this item? Clerk Turner, would you call the roll?
Trustee Steinwaddle?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Simmons?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee Riker?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We are now down to general comments from the audience. If you do have a comment, please come to the podium, give your name, address, and try to keep your comments to 5 minutes. Comments from the audience. Comments are going once, twice. Comments are closed. We're now down to miscellaneous business. Is there any miscellaneous business to come before the board?
I have some, Mayor. I had a meeting this afternoon with the Chamber of Commerce regarding the new app, which was really exciting. I'm not going to steal their thunder by giving you too much information or doing any kind of presentation, but just to give you a little bit of info, they plan on having the app completed by the end of this month. After that, it takes about 2 weeks to be approved by Apple, so it is in the store, I guess is what they call it. They plan on rolling it out at their first chamber event in, oh my gosh, what's it called? Hot in the Heights, in May. So they will have representatives from the school. It's really exciting. They've worked with the district to select students that will be working to teach people how to download the app, how to represent the app, going from, to business to get them included. And so it's a wonderful collaboration between the village, the school, the chamber, and our businesses. And they have geofencing, and I'm not a tech person, but when you look at the map on the app, if you are a chamber member, your business is represented with a large icon. So if you're a business in the village of Peoria Heights and you're not a member of the chamber, I strongly encourage you to become a member so that you can have your business advertised and represented in this app. That's great.
So I guess they stay in the budget.
Yeah.
I just had one thing for council. Mark, the ordinance on the vacation of the alley said that they would pay the attorney's fees. Does that invoice come from me or you?
We don't invoice separately for that. They just have to pay that in
Okay.
order to get the signed copy to record.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Any other miscellaneous business to come before the board?
Should we talk about the date for the 250th?
Go right ahead.
Been kind of going through different dates that are open. Trustee DeVore and I kind of came up with August 22nd is about the only date that doesn't coincide. The other date that I had in mind was September 19th, except that's the
Illinois Municipal League.
Illinois Municipal League Conference, so most of you guys, everybody will be gone.
Or October 24th.
Or October 24th, which I was worried was starting to get a little late in the season, it might be a little chilly. So August 22nd, it's a few days after school starts back up, everybody, not a lot of traveling happens, everybody after the first week of school might like a little fun coming back in, and it'll be kind of perfect weather, I think, in the middle, toward the end of August there, if anybody has any objections.
I'm just looking at my calendar right now, but I think that sounds good.
Sounds like we're having a party.
Great.
Okay.
Good?
Do we have a
August 22nd it
consensus
is.
on that? Okay.
Are
Get
we
that on
sure
the
I'm gonna
calendar.
write it in pen?
I don't think we're ever sure, but it looks
Pick
like the
marker to
calendar,
be specific,
we
yes.
are good.
August 22nd, all right,
Okay.
fine. Start working on some stuff. Do we have a budget for me yet?
If you, well, again, I would suggest that you talk to Administrator Sutton.
Yeah, I'll get with him, we'll sit down and talk.
And, you know, I think we may actually have still a little bit of surplus left, even after the vehicles.
Maybe I can get a vehicle for this.
Okay, any other departments that need to report? Okay. Hearing no further business, Trustee Weisenberg?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Trustee Weisenberg, seconded by Trustee Steinwedel. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I keep joking.
Yeah, it's a lot, but we got it.
Freezing.
Saying cancel reservation.